Make sure you have capital. Don't jump in. Everybody thinks, burn the ships. Jump in, figure it out. It'll work out. That's not how it always goes. You can get lucky, but no, you definitely got to be prepared. So if you're going to do it, think it out. Cover all your bases. Find entrepreneurs, small businesses, someone that you can bounce ideas. That was my biggest help, was finding other service companies that I can talk to and be like, hey, I really need help on this. This is a slap in the face, and I don't know what to do right now.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very, very special guest with me, Justin Jacobs with Clean Slate Operations. Justin, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm excited to hear about this, about your business and everything that you got rolling here, because I know it's been something that's been coming here, and I've known you for a couple months now, and it's been kind of a fun watch your journey and everything. I love having you in my back pocket when it comes to this. But Justin, with your junk removal and what you do with Clean Slate, let's kind of jump into that, man. Where did that idea of a business, where did that come from, and how'd you get started?
So I guess really it came from, being a single father. I needed a lot of time off with my kid. I was working jobs that paid really well, and I was happy with them, but I just didn't have family time. Everything came down to whether PTO was ready. I felt like I could do more. I just was tired of, trying to find a job that didn't quite fit. So I decided to basically try to go off on my own. And, I knew a decent amount of people that had jumped into it with no prior experience of just being a business owner. And so I had a lot of, mentoring and watching them. And so I thought I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you started, how many months ago now?
I'm almost at my 1 year mark, actually.
Okay, perfect.
It would have been January of 2024.
Okay, awesome. So you're coming up on a year. How's it been so far?
It's been rough. It's been a huge learning experience. I watched people, like I said, that had jumped into it, never had a business, and they did really good. But I did not start out with the capital to just hire everybody every step of the way, to be like, hey, taxes, business setup, accounting, stuff like that. It was a lot of me trying to figure it out, and it was a slap in the face when I got started. I was confident and setting it up and doing everything like that, and then when things got running and I'd hit, barriers, it's been like that all year. Yeah.
It's the journey of an entrepreneur. All right, so talk to us about the name, right? I think the namesake is always kind of a fun story behind all of it, right? Some people have big stories. Some people are like, I just picked a name out of a dictionary. Where did yours come from?
Okay, so I did a lot of research on junk removal names and realized that a lot of people were going with their name. Mm-hmm. And so it'd be Bob's Junk Removal or this junk removal. And so the idea behind it was to start off with junk removal and get off with junk removal, demolition, start easing into other types of home services and whatnot, outdoor cleanings. So I didn't want junk removal in the name. And I also didn't want my name. So I didn't want it to be Justin's Junk Removal.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be more of a professional business style, give it that, no face company.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So Clean Slate was just, clean slate for a clean life.
Yeah.
That was the idea behind it, yeah.
I like that. Clean slate, clean life. I like that. That's awesome. So this is a good transition. So what do you guys, with Clean Slate, what are you guys able to offer? Obviously you started with junk removal. I know today we talked a little bit about demoing of buildings and things like that. What total package are you guys able to offer there?
So, junk removal, we do estate cleanouts, we get rid of any unwanted stuff in your house, old furniture, we clean up yard debris, branches, stuff like that. We did get into trimming Gutter cleaning. We do light demolition. So I've had customers with old sheds on their property that they were like, hey, I'm trying to get a new one. Yeah. I don't know what to do with this big old shed. So we come down there and we tear it up. We've had companies that in storms have had small buildings knocked over, and we come through, we clean it up for them. So we're still playing with, I guess, property service side.
Yeah.
I have somebody who, he does kind of landscaping and he plays with that. And so me and him have been kind of tagging along, helping each other out and getting that figured out.
Sure.
But we haul away anything that you don't want.
Yeah. I gotta ask, because there's got to be a story here. So what has been one of the grossest or the worst jobs that you've had to do as far as junk removal goes? You can say it's on one of mine, I know.
Well, that 3-apartment building,
yeah.
That one that you sent me on, that one was pretty bad. I mean, it looked like that thing had been abandoned for years. Yeah. It was torn apart. You could definitely tell people breaking in, going in, and hanging out and whatnot. The worst I'd say I'd had was middle of summer in Harrington. There was a farmer. They died. Their family wanted it cleaned out, and they had worked on it for 3 years. They were renting out dumpsters, and the family would just come out there. Well, their dad was a hoarder, and so he filled up their garage, built another garage, filled up that garage. Built another garage, filled up that garage. And so
gosh.
After a while, like 3 years later, they sold the property. And she was like, I have 2 weeks left. And like, there's still so much stuff. So we went out there. That was when we were like 110 degrees. It was so hot. There was no wind. We're out in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
And there was this giant pile. And I was like, okay, no problem. We'll do it. We started digging into it, and it was infested with wasps. Every time I'd pull something, wasps would fly out. And so I think we ended up hauling away 20,000 pounds of junk. I mean, it was definitely one of those, it's when you learn that not every job's going to be easy and breezy. You're going to have those that suck, especially the guy had like 15, 20 old tube TVs, the big heavy ones. Oh, yeah. And I showed up out there with my dump truck. Its bed sits pretty high, so yeah, it was...
You getting some power cleans in that day.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of labor. I definitely got stronger on that one. Yeah.
That's awesome. So walk us through the customer experience, right? So let's say that I've got a garage that needs to be completely just emptied, right? What does that look like from start to finish? Do they call? How do they set up? What does all that look like? And then kind of walk us through that process.
So most people, typically I get a 50-50 whether they message us on Facebook or they go ahead and give me a call. And they're like, hey, I seen you on Facebook. I had a friend refer you. This person, I seen your ad. You can do it on our website as well. We have a service request form, and basically you give me your information, your name, your phone number, a general kind of idea of what you want done, and then that comes to me, and I basically reach out to them. But yeah, I mean, it's easy. As soon as you reach out, we just go over it. A lot of times I'll ask for pictures to gauge a rough estimate. The problem I've had with pictures, though, is I will have a picture of garbage, and then I'm like, oh, this is simple, easy. And then I get out there and it's big. I mean, especially when you don't have a size reference there.
Sure.
It's really hard to gauge on pictures, so that's why I like to get out there, come out as soon as possible. I try to do same day. That way I can walk through with the customer in person to kind of see what they want to do and what I can do for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's the big thing too, right? Like so many times you can take a picture of a pile of junk and be zoomed way out and 100 feet away from it. Like, it's just a little one, right?
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So what is your website for them to go reach out to you?
So you can go straight to cleanslateoperations.com. And you can see I have updated it. I update it often. I throw in some pictures of jobs that I've done, stuff that I've done. Hauled away old boats, torn down sheds, just a little bit of what I do so that way you can kind of see who we are and what kind of stuff we do, that we can get a more comfortable feeling of who we are and what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about social media? How do they find and follow you on social media?
So right now I'm only on Facebook, Clean Slate Operations LLC. You can go on there. I try to post on there. I'm not the best, but we're getting better at it. We're starting to play around with videos and give the customer something that they can watch, and it's like they're standing there with me. You know, they get to know me. They get that personal effect instead of just a company on a website or social media. You have no idea who they are or how, what kind of people they are. So
yeah,
we're trying to play around with social media and videos to give a more personal, comfortable feeling whenever they reach out.
No, I love that. I love that. So so getting into it then, I mean, really reach out, have you come out, bid the job, and then kind of get it completed and really just kind of run it that way and see what that looks like. So I love that.
Yeah.
Justin, I kind of want to change gears a little bit we talked a little bit off camera about your community involvement, community engagement, and kind of your what you're able to donate and things. Obviously, you come across a lot of different types of things. I think one of the things that we talked about that I absolutely love is your door story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd love to have you tell that story. Just so, two things. Number one, I want people to understand that you're able to give back, even as a junk company. You're able to give back to the community. And then two, because I think it was a very smart way to go about it. And then two, if anybody watching this has an opportunity to be like, oh, hey, I've got this. What can we do this? Those kinds of things. So. Long story long, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, the door story that we had and everything there, that one, so please.
Yeah, so basically, not all trash is trash. I get rental cleanouts. We get, properties that just have old stuff and people don't want to go through the hassle of trying to get rid of it, don't know what to do with it, so they call somebody like me. Me and my team come out there, and there's still a lot of good stuff a lot of times. I mean, we come across some stuff that, I'm just like, if they want to get rid of it, I guess, So instead of going out, it's too easy to go to the transfer station, dump everything out and just get rid of it, call it a day. What we decided to do was pick out all the good stuff. And then we kind of reach out on Facebook, stuff like that, Marketplace, and we try to donate as much as we can to families in need. We've given out washers and dryers, vacuums, minor household stuff. But recently we had a handyman company that reached out to us, and they were doing doors on a building. And they said they had about 5 doors, and it just happened that I already had a door from a restaurant. And so I reached out to the local volunteer firefighter department and was like, hey, weird question. Do you guys have used to train with doors? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I have 7. And so he was like, yeah, I mean, awesome. If you can bring those down. So as soon as I get all the doors from them, I'll be going down there to the department. They said they'd love to use them to train, forced entry, stuff like that. Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool way to kind of like give back to the community and, take a load off, because volunteer firefighters, they don't get paid. So they kind of work with what they got. Yeah. So it was a way to help them and not just throw stuff away. It's a way to recycle. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's like you said, it's a way to give back to the community. It's a way to kind of give them something that they need that they don't necessarily need or want to go pay for, especially if you're just going to be throwing it away and it goes to the transfer station and never gets seen again, Mm-hmm. So it's a way to kind of reuse that. So I love that, and I love that story because it's one that it kind of shows who you are as far as being able to give back to the community in that sense of it. And I love that opportunity that arises with that. All right, so we're kind of in a unique scenario here, and I love that we're here with you. And what I mean by this is we're kind of at that year mark, so you are kind of year in review, right? So you're going to be a lot of people that watch this, a lot of people that watch these videos and things. They like to see a lot of entrepreneurs and things that way. So I've gotten some on here that are 30 plus years in the business, and now I'm able to get you on here with 1 year. So I want to ask, what has been one of the most challenging things for you as a business owner over the past year?
So, setting up my accounting, getting your banking set up, figuring out your taxes, getting registered, not taking shortcuts. There's a lot of legal stuff that I didn't know when I started out. Mm-hmm. I thought you just create an LLC, get some insurance, call it good, start doing work. there was just a lot of legal stuff, a lot of paperwork, a lot of documents. You know, I went to go get my bank account for my business, and they were asking for all these documents, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So it was, the biggest thing would be getting set up legal-wise. It's very important. You don't want to get caught in a bad job, in a bad scenario, where you damage somebody's property or something like that happens. You want to make sure you have all your bases covered. And then getting, like, I guess my invoicing software, I had an issue of playing around with software, trying different companies, stuff like that. And so trying to keep track of all my invoices until I could get that figured out was a nightmare. So it was basically just a matter of trying to get running smooth, trying to focus on advertising, getting us out there, doing these jobs, and still taking care of the business side without falling behind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a daily battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's a lot of it, right? I mean, a lot of things that don't get talked about in year one of being an entrepreneur is the startup. I mean, it's pretty much, what do they say when you're taking off on the jet? It's a lot of power up front, and then when you get there, it's kind of you're just adjustments and kind of making it that way. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot of just smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you see people and everybody makes it look good. You see it on social media. These guys are like, hey, in 1 year, I'm 6 figures in. And for me, it was not that easy. We live in a smaller area.
Yeah.
And so to get my business running, I was actually working 3 jobs. I was working 14 hours a day for 6 days a week. Sometimes 7 because I was just greedy for the money and I wanted that money to start. I didn't want any debt. I didn't want any loans.
Yeah. So
I was working nonstop trying to pay for equipment and get everything ready. And so it was not what I thought. I thought I was going to walk in, start doing good things, and then I'm hitting slow weeks where I'm like, what's going on? Like, am I going to have to shut down, find get a job? And then there's time where I'm like, oh, no, we're good. Like, we're okay. So trying to figure out that nice balance and figure out the waves, and because it comes and goes. Yeah. That's for sure.
Sure. Well, let's flip to the other side of that. What has been one of the best moments of being an entrepreneur?
Family time.
Yeah.
If you've hired me for a job, usually smaller jobs, I bring my kid along with me. I have a 4-year-old son.
Yeah.
And so that was the best thing about it, was being able to go out, be an entrepreneur, start my business, and do it all while spending time with my kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my goal, family time. So having a way to kind of involve my family with the business, that's been the best part about it.
Yeah. That's and I think one of the things that people don't think about and don't talk about is your son's going to see you. He's going to see you building and see you kind of providing and being able to do that, and you become his hero and his mentor and his role model at that point. I think that's one of the big things that a lot of people don't necessarily see, and so I commend you, and I'm happy for you on that, man. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure he can do accounting before he can read.
Yeah. Right.
He's going to be old enough one day where he's going to start doing, he's going to have a role, that's for sure. Yeah.
You can count to 10, you're hired.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. All right, well, talk to us before we kind of wrap it all up here. What's the future look like for you?
Well, we're continuing to build. We've been kind of struggling with consistency of work and employees. Right now, I have somebody who's we've been using him as a 1099 kind of contractor. Mm-hmm. That way, he's flexible. It's on his own time, when he can help. But we hit really busy times where, I use him a lot, and then we hit really slow times where I can't use him, and then we hit times where I need more help.
Right.
So we're really trying to dial in what our services are, and kind of play each season, because each season's going to be different. Holidays affects where people spend their money, what they focus on, stuff like that. So we're trying to dial in what services we want to really focus on for each season to give a smoother line of work and have, people come on full time, because we really want to be a good employer to people that want a good job, they're tired of just terrible bosses, terrible companies that don't care. So we're trying to give people on both sides, customers and employees, we're trying to give everybody a good experience.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Okay, so final thing before we kind of wrap up is, what advice would you give to anybody who's getting ready to start a business, somebody who has been in business, wants to go through that side of it? We touched on it a little bit, I think, but yeah. I want to give you that one moment. So what advice would you give anybody looking to start a business?
What business you're going to start is going to have different, what you have to start your business. I would say make sure you have capital. Don't jump in. Everybody thinks, burn the ships. Jump in, figure it out. It'll work out. That's not how it always goes. You can get lucky, but no, you definitely got to be prepared. So if you're going to do it, think it out. Cover all your bases. Find entrepreneurs, small businesses, someone that you can bounce ideas. That was my biggest help, was finding other service companies that I can talk to and be like, hey, I really need help on this. This is a slap in the face, and I don't know what to do right now. So find a mentor and be prepared. It's not always gonna be good. You're not always gonna be riding high. Yeah. So capital, finding a mentor that you can trust and that is willing to help you. I think that's one of the most important things. No, I love it. I love it. All right, so one more time. How does somebody get a hold of you if they want to hire you to hire you for junk removal stuff? Facebook, Clean Slate Operations LLC. You can message us on there. Our website, cleanslateoperations.com. You can submit a form for a request, or you can call or text 785-210-6808. Anytime or day and night. We have very flexible hours. We're not, weekends, stuff like that. We will talk to customers whenever, and we'll get a schedule set up of when we can actually come out and stuff like that. But you can message us whenever. We reply. That's awesome. Love it. Well, and I appreciate it. And thank you again, man, for joining me today. Anything else you want to add before I kind of wrap it up here? No. Awesome. Well, and thank you so much, you guys, for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. If you do enjoy this content, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of any future content. Give us that like, because it does help us grow the channel. And please, 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 if you know somebody who is needing something done or wanting something done, share this video with them. Let them see and understand who Justin is as a family man, as a dad, and as a business owner. And I promise you guys, I've tried to give him things that he would tell me no to, and he has yet to tell me no yet. So they are willing to do just about anything that they need to in order to make sure that it is done right, and make sure it's done in a timely manner, and make sure that it looks good, that you as a customer are happy for it. I've used him personally myself, as well as referring him to a lot of other people as well. I highly recommend Justin and Clean Slate Operations. You cannot go wrong with them. So definitely check them out. Reach out to him, book your time today, have him come out and give a good bid for you guys, and anything that you may be looking for, whether it be from tree removal to shed removal to just straight up junk removal. He'll be out there to take care of you guys. So Justin, thank you so much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching to this point, and I really appreciate it. And until next week, this is another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. Thank you very much.